Month 5, time for Final Fantasy V. While 5 has a decent story, what I really remember about Final Fantasy V was the return of the job system, where you can assign your party members special roles or classes. This time, we've got loads of completely new jobs to play about with, including katana-wielding samurais who can throw money at their enemies, and time mages who can manipulate time and even rewind fights back to the start. What I think is the most interesting addition to Final Fantasy V is available quite early on, and it's Blue Mages. Basically, Blue Mages are massive sponges that can learn abilities after experiencing them from enemies. There is a satisfying element in discovering what abilities you can learn, and it makes taking the time to explore more rewarding. Final Fantasy V's story begins with Bart, the adventurer or wanderer. It's just another day until a meteor crashes into the planet. Bart goes to investigate, and so begins the epic adventure of Final Fantasy V. Along the way, we recruit 3 allies: Lena, a determined princess, Faris, a fearless pirate captain, and Galuf, an old man who's lost his memory. In true Final Fantasy fashion, our quest is to save the 4 crystals of wind, water, fire, and earth, each in danger following the meteor's impact. Wiki trying to grow the channel, cover RPGs, and I'm also running through each Final Fantasy every month. Any subs or likes would be an amazing help. Thank you. These crystals aren't just for show. They share their power and enable our party to take on different jobs, like your black mages, thieves, or summoners that we've seen before. Just like Final Fantasy III, you can freely swap your party members' jobs, and you'll unlock more throughout the course of the game. But 5's job system is a bit more advanced. As you play jobs, you'll level them up and earn new abilities. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You can assign a job to a character and then layer on abilities learned from other jobs. For instance, you might learn the dual wield ability from ninjas, then assign that ability to a dragoon, and you can dual wield spears as a dragoon. Or, take the time to master white magic as a white mage, assign this to a summoner, and you can cast support healing magic. This makes for a powerful customization system that encourages experimentation. It's addictive trying out new jobs, learning new abilities, then mix matching jobs and abilities to discover powerful combinations. When you're done with the game, there's 2 notable super bosses, Omega and Shinryu. These things are a challenge and a half, and a real test of your mastery over the job system. But we're getting ahead a little bit. Some other noteworthy jobs include Berserkers. They're always in a feral state of berserk and can only attack enemies, which they'll do automatically. Then there's Mystic Knights that can take a turn to enchant their weapons with magic effects. Beastmaster allows you to capture weakened beasts during battle, which can then be released later to attack enemies. Or after leveling Beastmaster up, you can take control of enemy beasts directly. But in my opinion, 2 jobs are sorely missing: Dark Knight and Paladin. These were huge in the previous game, Final Fantasy IV, so it kinda sucks a little that we don't get those 2. But we do get Mime, that can repeat the last move an ally makes, a very interesting job that can be used strategically. Mime's a secret job. I had to go out my way to unlock Mime. Speaking of which, Final Fantasy V is packed with plenty of other side content to explore and discover. I mentioned Blue Mages earlier. They're going to be hunting down new spells by discovering new enemies, while summoners, on the other hand, can discover optional trial fights to recruit new summons like Shiva and Bahamut. I find this kind of stuff makes these jobs so much more fun to play and progress. Between the job system and some decent side content, you've got a pretty fun RPG here. Whether you're experimenting with new jobs or hunting down new abilities, Final Fantasy V feels pretty engaging. So the story is decent, it's got some standout moments, while storytelling and character writing isn't quite as strong as its predecessor, Final Fantasy IV, this game compensates with its job system. Getting into the story, fast forward a bit and those 4 big crystals end up destroyed. A seal is broken, unleashing the antagonist, the ruthless Exdeath. Exdeath seeks to merge the worlds of Final Fantasy V together and summon in the void that'll erase all existence. A solid antagonist that'll manipulate and thwart your efforts throughout the journey of 5. One of the other interesting characters is Gilgamesh, a goofy but formidable warrior who stands in your way throughout the game, a fan favourite and Exdeath's lieutenant. If you've played a few Final Fantasy games, you might recognise Gilgamesh. Well, that's because he ends up trapped in the void. He spends his days wandering the dimensions of the void. It seems the void is a gateway to different realities because Gilgamesh shows up in different Final Fantasy dimensions and games, even appearing in the latest installment, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
This is not my Excalibur! This is what Excalibur!
It is so awesome that the legacy of Final Fantasy V is still alive and influencing the spirit and story of Final Fantasy games today. One of my favourite moments in 5 is the battle on the big bridge, where Galuf holds the line and we take on Gilgamesh. The scene is quite iconic and its music piece, which is literally called Battle on the Big Bridge, this has been remixed and reused throughout Final Fantasy. We've learned Final Fantasy stories like a good twist. With Final Fantasy V, we get the death of Galuf, one of our main party members. In a good way through the game, in a battle with our antagonist Exdeath, Galuf sacrifices himself to save the party and his granddaughter Krill. Krill inherits Galuf's powers and takes his place in your party, making a main party with a majority of women for the first time. This moment isn't just a plot twist, it's a turning point in the story and motivates you to defeat Exdeath. So Final Fantasy V, it presents you with a colourful world and more light-hearted goofy characters. But it deceives you. The more playful world really contrasts with the darker, more emotional moments. In terms of RPG elements and customization, Final Fantasy V is the best so far with its evolution of the job system. It's not just about strategy and combat, but exploration, discovery and mastery. Whether you're learning blue magic, taming beasts, taking on new summons or just experimenting with new jobs, the game is consistently engaging and it's fun to replay and specialise in different jobs. I think the main story and characters are decent. It's a classic Final Fantasy narrative with 4 crystals that need saving. Definitely got some strong moments like Galuf's fate, the merging of worlds, the battle on the big bridge and Gilgamesh who's still wandering the void and showing up in modern Final Fantasy games. I like Final Fantasy V, love the job system here, it deserves a lot of praise, but I do like Final Fantasy IV's storytelling and character writing a bit more. I'm going to rank Final Fantasy V the second best so far. Next month I'll be delving into Final Fantasy VI, and I'm going to have a lot to say about that one. Peace for now.